Hi, BWW. This is Michelle Jackson. I'm here to once again celebrate another great author. This is one of our authors from the page, Dayonne Richardson. She is a children's book author, and her book is I Told the Storm. Can you show that for us, Dayonne? We want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to see it. And so we're here to talk about children's book writing. And Dayonne's going to tell us about herself and tell us about her work. And then we're just going to talk about writing in general. And hopefully we can all walk away learning so much from her. She's a teacher, so she's already got a place in my heart. So tell us about yourself.
Yes. Hello, everyone. As she said, my name is Dayonne Richardson. I have been in education for 8 years. I've had the opportunity to teach in America, to teach in China, to teach elementary, collegiate students, as well as adults. And I had a small band of influence with teaching. Now I feel like I have a bigger influence with my book, but I'm still making a connection to students. It's just in a different way.
That's amazing. So your book is I Told the Storm, and what inspired you to write it?
Okay, so it's a children's book, but it is basically my life story in kid form. In life, I've overcome lots of storms. I've encountered lots of storms, from me taking my teacher test 13 times to divorce to different things that have come my way that I felt like were taking the breath out of me, but I overcame them. And so the children's book is basically an ode to that. It's an ode to the fact that storms may come, but you always have the sun. And that even though they might be scary, even though they might be intimidating, they're there to help us grow. And I would have never thought from those storms I would birth a book, but it is basically my life story. And the main character, and actually the book is dedicated to the main character. When I wrote the book, I wrote it on the plane coming from China last summer. And my mom and my nephew picked me up. And my nephew, I told my mom, I was like, I just wrote a book on the plane. And I think it's kind of good. And so my nephew's 5. And so his name is Emery. And he said, Ani, can you read it to me? And so I read it to him. He had me read it to him like 5 times. He just had me keep reading it to him. And I was like, maybe this ain't such a bad book after all. And so every time I would speak to him after that, he would ask me, Ani, where's my book? Where's your book? Where's your book? And so when I did meet my illustrator, I did send her his picture for him to be my main character, because that was the push I needed. You know, sometimes in life we encounter storms, but we're never by ourselves. We always have someone there, and it just happened to be my nephew.
What a great message during this time of COVID, when we are all in the midst of a storm and trying to figure out how to work our way through it. It's almost like your book was meant to be. We know it was meant to be, but it was meant to be for this particular time, because we're all feeling a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen. And so I think that it's just so excellent to see that you put all that into a book. I believe we write through the pain in some ways, and that's what books are all about. So what did your nephew say when the book was actually published?
He was so surprised. He told his mom that looked like him.
Oh.
And so we told him, like, Emery, that is you. Mm-hmm. You know, I sent a picture of you. That is you. And at my book signing event, we got him to sign some books. And he was just so proud, you know, to say like he was a part of that process. And kind of looking ahead, I do have a niece who's 2. And so I told her, you're next. She's going to be my next book that I dedicate.
And what type of reception, what type of comments have you received about the book?
I received I would say a lot of good feedback, just because I feel like the storm is something that everybody can relate to. Mm-hmm. Even though it's a children's book, it's a family book. And I've had families who have teenagers that have said, like, they've shared the book with their child, and their child has shared, like, hey, my storm is I'm hitting puberty and I don't know what's happening to my body. Right. Or an actual physical thunderstorm that has scared a child. And so the premise of the book is Emery is afraid of a thunderstorm, and his mom is explaining to him how God uses storms to help things grow. Even though they're scary, they're there to help us. And so we have all, like you said, we're in the middle of a storm. Our country is in the middle of a storm. Our race is in the middle of a storm. So to know that there is healing and there's growth that can come out of this, that gives us all hope in the midst of it.
That is so excellent. And so I'd asked you before, I really would love for you to read some of your book, because we want to connect with you, just beyond, meeting you as a person, but also we want to make sure that people go out and they support you and support your work. So if you don't mind, read us a little bit about I Told the Storm.
Absolutely. I Told the Storm by Dayonne Richardson. Did you need me to student, or is this okay?
That's fine.
Mama told me storms may come, but that it is proof that God's work's not done. They are loud and noisy, make big booms, scare me because I think they mean doom. He holds me tight, telling me a big no, saying they are here to help things grow. No. They're large in size and big in number, each one bringing their own thunder. I shudder and run in tears because I am frightened of why they are here.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the publishing and the marketing. So how did you publish your book, and let's tell us about your marketing strategy.
I did self-publish. For my marketing strategy, with the coronavirus and everything like that, it has been difficult to market necessarily because things are kind of still shut down. And so what I have been trying to do is as many virtual opportunities as I can, trying to connect with schools, after school programs, online interviews, online book readings, because most schools are not letting guest readers come in because they're meeting virtually, and most libraries are not available at the time. And so I've been really trying to market online. I did get on my local radio station for a span of time, and it was so cool. Went to my school, and my secretary was like, "Hey, I heard you on the radio." Went to pick up some copies from a local printer, and he called me radio lady, and I was like, that's a good sign. But I've been finding using the local media any way I can to kind of offset the fact that people aren't meeting in person right now.
Sounds great. So you just released your book. We really encourage everyone to get out and to pick up a copy. Where can they go to get a copy of your book?
Yes. Okay. So right now I am releasing them exclusively through my website, DayonneNecole.com, and it's DayonneNecole.com, and I'm doing it exclusively through my website.
Okay. Well, that is great, and thank you so much, Dayelle. I really do appreciate you coming on and talking to us about your book. I appreciate learning about your book and hearing you read it, which is always so great, is to hear the author read it. I know how much passion. I know you told me that you wrote this book on a plane from China after going to China and teaching young people your second summer in the road. That in itself should be celebrated, that you're sharing your knowledge and skills with so many people. And so I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on. And I would also like to tell everybody on the BWW page and everyone in general to go out and to support her. We will make sure that we have her website up so that you could go out, purchase her book, be a part of what she's doing. She's making a difference. She's talking about the hard times and how to get through it. And I think that's a story that we can all connect with. So,
and can I make a point to that?
Yes.
I do want to say, as an educator, I've had the unique opportunity to see how the virus is affecting my students. And that is, when this is all going on, as parents, as adults, you're just thinking, okay, everything is shut down. But we don't see it from the kids' perspective. You know, they're not able to see their friends at school. They're not able to do sports or things like that. And so I'm here, this book is here to advocate for them, to say, hey, you have these big emotions. Here's what you can do to deal with that. In the back of my book, I have a portion where you can write a letter to your storm. So you have an opportunity to kind of deal with those big emotions. And I feel like within the African American culture, sometimes men aren't given the chance, or boys aren't given the chance to admit they're sad, to
Yes.
admit they're afraid. We're, you know, suck it up, you're fine, you know, be masculine. And I'm here to say those things are not weak. That's actually strength. And so this book is a tool that I'm using to advocate for sharing those big emotions, because it affects them too, you know? And I think that sometimes we get so caught up in trying to make sure everything is fine that we forget they're affected by it. There's trauma in the fact that they immediately had to stop school. And so I encourage like journaling, you know, buying your children's journals or asking them how they're feeling and giving them space to share it will free that up for it to be more open and honest about those big feelings.
Excellent points. I 100% agree. I have a 14-year-old. We were having that conversation this morning. How do you feel about this? And just telling him that it's okay to articulate, feeling sad, missing his friends, you know, not understanding what's happening, not understanding whether or not things will be safe when he goes back to school, because he's now teaching, you know, he's online home teaching. So you're absolutely correct. And I am just good to hear you say that, and good to know that you are continuously not only giving the young people something to read, but also giving them something to learn to write and to articulate their feelings around, by having that section in the back where they can write to the storm. I love that. I'm going to write to a couple of storms today myself. I love that. That's great. So I do congratulate you on that. And thank you again for adding what you just added. So thank you so much. And good luck with your book, and we will continue to support you on the BWW page. Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.